What is up, traders? So being able to read the volume profile can make you a lot of money. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how the volume profile works as an indicator, some of its many different flavors, and how you can identify trades. A lot of the trades that we call out in our Discord and that I call out and that I actually execute on a daily basis are based off of the volume profile, as well as a few other factors, but we're just going to focus on just the volume profile in this video to keep it as simple as possible. So disclaimer, I do use other information. It's not a ton of other things, but this is just one layer to my trading style, but it is probably the most important layer, which is why I want to isolate it and talk about how we could build a trading strategy just off of the volume profile. So if you're new to trading, if you're new to prop trading or trading in general, my name is Forrest. I invest in stuff. I'm a day trader, and it's my passion to help other people do just the same. Let's stop wasting time and get into it. Just ignore the crazy background, I guess. Cool, I like this. I can actually see you guys. And we're recording. So first things first, go to tradingview.com. If you're new to this, it's just a charting tool. You can make an account. I'm signed in. Click this button to open a new chart, and we're gonna make a new layout. It's already made one. To make a new layout, just choose new layout, but we're gonna go to our volume profile example, and we're gonna switch over to ES. To switch to a ticker, like if I wanna go to NVIDIA, I just start typing NVDA. If I wanna go to ES, I can just type in ES. Pretty simple. Oh yeah, that reminds me, there's 90% off for Apex, so if you wanna get an account, you can get an account that's normally $100 a month for just $16. Check it out using my code, which is overlaid on the screen probably right about now. In any case, let's talk about the volume profile. So what is the volume profile? Let me just choose one of the few that I have. You can see that I have a few indicators here. Let's start with the fixed ranged volume profile. Probably the easiest to start with. It's going to give me a selector, and I'll do it like that. What I want to actually do though is I want to draw this the other way, do the range like that, put it back like this. And we want to go to the 1 day. To get to the 1 day, just type in 1D, and let's get the fixed ranged volume profile again, and we'll go back like this. Okay, so this is what the volume profile looks like. It is comprised of a higher bar, a lower bar, and then we have this histogram, which in this case is on the right. It's not always on the right. I could show you a different flavor of the volume profile. I could do the visible range volume profile. This one, instead of the high and low bar, it just has the shading done here. It's called the visible range because it's calculating this based off of what data is on my screen. So you can see it updating as I add more bars, more data comes on my screen, it changes. We can see the stuff that is dark colored versus the light colored. So what we want to do is let's get rid of the visible range and let's go back to the fixed range volume profile. We'll use that for an example, and we'll just go from here to here. So the way that I like to configure this is with all gray. It gets rid of some of the complexity. You don't need to pay attention to the up down volume in my opinion. And I have the value area high in white and in purple. We actually need to fix that. Probably a mistake that I made moving too quickly. I want both of these to be purple in this case. Does not matter what color it is. I just do this so it's easier on the eyes. I have other layers on my charts. So what is the volume profile though? Let's actually talk about this. So the first is the value area and these bars themselves. The volume profile represents volume at a price. So what does that mean? Within this range that I defined, which is a time-bound range, we can see that there's this shaded box from right around Wednesday, the 12th of October here, or it's actually Friday, October 7th. Sorry, I'll do a vertical line here to the current time in the market, and it is currently 8:44 p.m. on October 29th. It is calculating the amount of volume at every one of these prices. So the prices between the low, which is, looks like the lowest is down here at 35.02, all the way up to the highest up here at 46.35. So let's just do a line here. We'll just do a nice little box. So within this box, the square box here is where we're calculating our volume profile. So I want to know how much volume was there at every one of these prices. And I also want to know where there was the most volume. So let's just start with that. The most volume was here where there's this red line. So where the red line is, where there's the most volume, is called the point of control. It's just a price with the most volume. We can see that there's another price with a lot of volume. We can see in this area down here, right around, let's just say 39.93. We can see it comes into this peak here. So the volume profile has a shape. If I draw its shape, it goes like this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, this, and this, and this, and this. Just very similar to our other volume, right? This volume goes like this, and this, this, and this, this, and this, and this. So we're looking at price and volume, but we're looking at it in two different ways, right? The volume on the bottom of our chart is looking at volume at time. Let me phrase that a different way for you. If somebody said, how many transactions happened at 10 a.m.? How many transactions happened? In this case, we're on the daily chart. We could see 27th of July, 2023. And that question is answered by the height of this bar. So normally when you're looking at volume on the bottom of a chart, unless somebody's modified it, the question they're asking is how many transactions happened at this time? If somebody said to you, how many transactions happened at a price? We can see how that's a very, very different question. So volume at a time gives us a sense of demand. There's a huge amount of volume, even if we don't know the price. If suddenly 10x as many people or 100x as many people, 100 times as many people all transact at 1 p.m., that's very, very important information. We want to know that there's a huge amount of demand at 1 p.m. But what if I want to know about demand and supply at a price? That's what the volume profile can tell us. So if I asked you, at which price is there the most interest from the market? Let's ignore supply or demand. Let's just say at what price was there the most interest in the market within this time bound here? The answer is right around here where we have this consolidation. So there's this peak here, comes all the way here. Anytime we're in this zone, actually, let's clean this up. Let's just draw it from here to here. Peak is right here, obviously. In this zone is where the market has had the most participation, which is pretty interesting. So let's look at some of the times within this zone where there was a lot of participation. And to clean this up, we're gonna use these white lines here, and we'll get rid of this one. So there was a ton of interest here. We can see that we're actually in this area right now. There was a ton of market participation here. What this means is that anytime we get into these areas, we expect some type of reaction. Now, the way that I actually trade, I told you that I was going to talk about how I trade. We typically look for rejections within these low volume areas, where there is less participation in the market. And there's a ton of ways that this could be explained. I'm going to explain it simply like this. Let's go back to our time example. If we know that at 1 o'clock, there's a ton of demand, 1 million people trading at 1 o'clock. And it doesn't matter what you bid, it doesn't matter what you offer around that time, there's so many people that there's going to be a pretty well agreed upon average price. But what if you go to 4 o'clock and instead of 1 million people, there's only 10 people participating? There's 10 people participating and the price could be anything. If that price that the 10 people are fighting over is very different from the million, we're not going to spend a lot of time there because those 10 orders get filled. And then what happens once those 10 orders get filled, right? We have to go back to where everybody else is playing the game. So we'll spend some time there because there are people here, right? There's quite a large amount of people here down here at 40.97, right? It's not zero. There's a lot of people here, but there's a lot more people here at 41.40. That's the simplest way to think about it right now. This is within this moment of time. We can see that there's people here at this moment in time, this moment in time, and this moment in time, this moment in time. So there's all these other moments in time where these people participated, which is why you have to do this analysis across multiple different segments. You'll notice here that I did it down here to this pivot because I wanted to see how the auction behaved from the most recent low. And the way that I like to do this is across, I do it at this pivot, and I would do it up here at this pivot. This is the daily chart. I'll do it down here at this pivot, here at this pivot, right? Any major change in price, I want to understand the volume profile to build a narrative and a thesis. So every single one of these is a day. This is actually a good place to actually do a near-term thesis. And I've been using this pivot pretty recently here in a lot of my trading, as well as doing, a fib in this price area to understand where the major Fibonacci levels are. But that's generally how I think about it. So we just talked about what the low value area is. So how about the high value areas? So place where there is the most participation is a point of control. On the higher time frame, and really on every time frame, I'm just going to say this, right? On every time frame, price behaves the same. It's the same. It just takes longer on the daily. I start with the daily, and in this environment, very recently, we've been calling out trades based off of, the 4-hour and, higher price action, low value nodes. A low value node is this area here where there's low value, and we've been hitting those targets on a daily basis. Very, very clear, especially if it's a very, very clear low value area. Here, it's more rounded, but in this market environment, you can make trades based off of these areas. Going back to the point of control, the area where there's the highest value, that is the mean. That is where the market is magnetized towards. So anytime you have a point of control within a session, or if you think about a session across every time frame, like there's going to be a 3-minute point of control, 5-minute point of control, 15-minute point of control, 30, 1 hour, etc., etc. You want to understand where the point of control is across every single time frames, because as we move outside of this, let's say we shoot down to here, we're going to come back to that POC, right? Now the POC will move if as we come down, we build a ton of volume here, this POC is going to shift down because the shape of this will change. But wherever the POC is, as we move to the ends of the market, to the outsides of this value area denoted inside these purple lines, we will come back to the POC. So now let's talk about the value area. Let's talk about what this higher line is, lower line, and then why this is bright gray and this is lighter gray. So every volume profile does this, right? You can either extend the lines here for the value area high and the value area low, or you can just use shading. I've done a little combination of both. The value area, the default is where 68% of the value is. This is volume here. So if I said, okay, you tell me where most of the participation is, where the most volume is, it's here at this price of 41.42. Most people transacted within this time frame at 41.42. Then I said, okay, tell me where 68% of the entire population of people participated. If you're familiar with statistics, you know this is like one standard deviation. Cool, that's within here. So 68% of all the volume is inside these two purple lines here. The higher one is called the value area high. The lower one is called the value area low. These act as support and resistance all the time. They move during the session, but during the session, I can tell you this, if you want a free, like super pro tip, look at the 15-minute chart, look for the session volume profile. Here's the one that I use, session volume profile HD. Plot that and you will watch the market, especially if you're trading ES, NQ, really anything, you will see it react to the value area high and the value area low, the time. Eventually those things will shift, but in real time, you will see it hit those levels, reject, come back to VWAP, things like that. That's like a standard trade for me, rejecting off of the VAH or VAL, coming back into the POC or VWAP. Happens all the time. Free game for you. Thank me later or join my Discord. So that's what those two areas are. Outside of that, you want to, if you want to think about what happens once we leave these areas. So if I'm inside the session, let's imagine this is a 15-minute chart and the price moves down here. Price is extended. If we come back up to here and we bounce off the VAL, that's very bearish. That means we're probably going to get more downside continuation into the next day. We break this down live all the time. Same on the other side. If we break outside of a value area and we don't return through it, we reject off of it and go higher, then the market's probably going to continue higher. Don't take my word for it. Watch the session on the watch the volume profile, the VAH, VAL, and look how price behaves during the session. Plot on 15-minute, 5-minute, whatever you like, and watch it play for yourself. The inverse is true as well. If we come down, we bounce off of this, and we stay. We go outside just a little bit. We sweep this low, come in, and then we break back inside. We're going to come back to the POC. This is going to be the magnet for the price. We're going to come back to the POC, and that's usually a good exit. A lot of trades I call it say exit here. You don't want to try to trade through it because it's going to get magnetized. It's going to get stuck here during the session. It might eventually go through, and oftentimes we'll call that out if we see some indication that it's going to return to the highs, or if we think it's a range day. If it's a full-on range day, then it'll sweep the low. If it's a full-on range day, it'll sweep the low like this. Then it'll come back to the POC. It'll chop, 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 and then we'll sweep the highs, and then we'll come back. Probably something like this. Chop, 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 chop. Then it'll come back to POC. Chop, 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 chop. And then maybe do like a little new low or something like that. Whatever it does, but it'll be very close to VWAP and the POC. In general, the trading strategy, how you want to use the volume profile is you want to look for initial moves into low value areas. I'll say this again. Best strategy for using the volume profile is looking for the first move, first market activation into a low value area. So there's one very close here. You want to see how we reject here. You want to be careful with this low value area though, because you can notice that this node in general isn't very big. We just came out of this area here. We're very close to it. Did we actually go into this price? I can't really see on my chart right now, but this one here is a good low value area because there's a very obvious volume shelf here. Below, we have an obvious support here right at this price, right? There's a huge imbalance below here, but there's a low value area right here that we'll look to react to, 40.50. This is actually the current low that we've kind of called out in our Discord, this little pit here, 40.60 down to 40.40. And if we break through that, you're looking for the other side, right? We're looking for somewhere around 39.50 or lower. And I would start to look at the market structure here to figure out where we might bounce. You can see previous pivots here, right around this area. And that's how you would start to combine the volume profile with market structure to, find price targets. Now that's just using the volume profile, guys. A big part of trading is adding different layers of information, but you can just trade with the volume profile. You can just do support and resistance levels, but more importantly than just support and resistance levels, right? Because you can't just take a trade at every single line on your chart, is actually looking at your charts and trying to figure out, okay, what are the major targets that we're going to get to within a session or 2 sessions so that you can trade into that larger time frame bias. If I have a downside bias on the daily and then I go in and I review my trades and 7 out of 10 of my trades on the day are longs, there's a problem here. So right, you want to have this larger time frame thesis and your day trades should conform to what you think is going to happen on a large time frame. That was actually a big personal mistake of mine. I think a lot of people actually are. I was a reversal trader. I was always looking for reversals, even though I thought the price was going to come down here. Right? I kept taking a long here, took a long here, took a long here, took a long here, took a long here. Stupid, right? Don't be stupid like me, be smart. Same thing, right? If you think we're going up, stop taking shorts, stop taking shorts. And I see other people doing that too. And we call out a number, a lot of the trades that they share are in the opposite direction because they're trying to be contrarian. There's something psychological about being contrarian, I think, that makes people feel like they're smarter, but they're not. You just lose money. So let's review what we've learned. First, the volume profile answers the question of how many people participated at a certain price, which is different than the normal volume, which answers the question of how many people participated at this time. How many people participated at 10 a.m. versus how many people participated at a price of 41.40. Different questions, both have very, very important and useful answers for us as traders. Another question I want to say is, okay, where did 68% of the market participate? We like to use statistics when we're trading. The range of that, how we draw that on the chart, is through the value area high and the value area low. Area, the answer for all the prices that were inside that 68 percentile is called the value area. So this entire box is called the value area. Outside of that, we're just beyond the value area. The price with the most participation is the point of control. It's called the POC. And the volume profile itself can be drawn across any range. There are many different ways to use it. This is the fixed range that I drew on the daily. There is the session volume profile that you can use, which I use every single day. You see it in the background in all my videos. If I switch over to another chart here, we can see that this is actually the wrong chart. Let's switch over to this August 9th chart. We'll go here, and actually we have NQ, which is open right now. So we can see that I have the session volume profile and the visible range volume profile on the right, updating as I scroll left and right. Very, very good example of that. So use both, play around with this. There is no right answer, okay? I wanna make that super duper clear. Use the tool. You know, the best thesis or conclusion is one that you came up with. Listen to me, but don't just listen to me. Use this, see what conclusions you can draw, watch it throughout the session. Use the session volume profile for sure. That's probably one of the most important ones, but use the session volume profile along with the daily and the weekly. You need to be at both edges of the extremes. You need to have a daily thesis and a weekly thesis. If you're ever trading and you can't answer the question about what you think is going to happen on the day, you shouldn't even be participating in the market. If you don't have an idea what's happening on the day, and I'm dead serious, you're going to have a rough day. Journal your trades, and I bet if you didn't have an intuition or an idea about, you know, the price on that day, you're probably losing on the shorter time frames. So you should either just be hands off and wait until we hit some price, some major price, so you have a better idea of where we're going on the day. Then you can, you know, take your scalps or whatever, but definitely be at both extremes. If you're looking for volume changes on the 5 minute, it should be to confirm something that you saw on a longer or larger time frame. Whew. So no idea how long this video was. So we're gonna wrap this up. That is a volume profile. You see it in all my videos in the background because I use it every single day. It is my bread and butter tool. When you see me draw support and resistance levels, a lot of those are based off of the volume profile either now or previously. So the reason I have so much faith in my levels when I trade off of them is because they were based off of these major pivot or critical points in the auction, which is really what the volume profile is telling you about. It's telling you about the behavior of the auction. Really everything is, right? The price action is literally telling you about the behavior of the auction. Volume profile tells you how strong market participation was at that time. But in any case, my name is Forrest. I invest in stuff. You should too. If you found this video useful, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Have a Discord, join us there. We day trade live every single day. Yeah, that's it really. Peace.